Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss about the last portion of interference, that is the sustained interference. Sustained interference is the interference pattern in which the position of maxima and minima remain fixed on the screen with respect to each other. Such an interference is called sustained interference or permanent interference. Sustained interference is clearly visible pattern of interference, or we can say it is the best visible pattern of interference. Conditions for sustained interference. Sustained interference can take place only if the following conditions are satisfied. The first condition is that both the source should emit light of same frequency and same wavelength. The two slits that we have used in YDSC, both should be emitting light of same wavelength and same frequency, although both are receiving light from a primary source, but now they are behaving like a fresh source for this interference pattern. So the light coming from each slit should be of same frequency and same wavelength. Second, both the source should be coherent. These two slits should be producing coherent light, means the phase difference between the light of the two waves is same or zero, means both the source should be vibrating with the same phase. Number 3, the intensity of both the waves must be same. The slit should be of same thickness, that's why the intensity produced should be same. Same intensity will produce the best pattern of interference. Reason is that if intensity is same, then minima will be totally dark and maxima will be highly bright. So this way we can say that dark bright pattern will be clearly visible. The boundary of maxima and minima can be easily considered. So both the source should have same intensity. Number 4, the slits must be extremely narrow. Both the slits should be extremely narrow. If the slits are not narrow, they are wide enough, then they will behave like multiple source, and the light may not be coherent. So both the slits should be extremely narrow. Number 5, both the slits should be very close to each other. If the separation between the two slits is less, then width of interference fringes will be large and this will be clearly visible. So both the slits should be extremely close to each other to magnify the interference pattern that will be clearly visible then. Number 6, both the waves should be traveling in same direction. Interference can only take place if both the waves that are going to superpose should be traveling in the same direction. Number 7, light source must emit monochromatic light. The source of light that we are using for producing interference should be emitting monochromatic light. If light is polychromatic or light is of different colors is being used, then in such a case the maxima of one color overlap the minima of other color, or you can say on the screen there will be colorful fringes, note the maxima and minima, so interference pattern get depleted. Next, number 8, the distance of screens should be large. To magnify the interference pattern, the distance of screen from the slits should be extremely large. That's why the fringe width will increase and interference pattern will be clearly visible. Number 9, wavelength of light should be large. We know fringe width was given by lambda d upon d. Here lambda is the wavelength. If lambda is more, beta will be more, means fringe will be wide enough. So to increase the fringe width, wavelength of light should be used. So wavelength of light used should be large. Means we prefer interference with red light as compared to the blue light. Next, point number 10. The source should not be very close to the slits. The source that we are using for producing interference, that should not be placed very close to the slits. There is a certain distance, we will discuss it later. Next we come to the very important topic. This is the energy conservation of interference. Prove that interference is in accordance of law of energy conservation. Now let us suppose two coherent sources which are producing light of same intensity I naught. So we can say I naught is the intensity of first source and I1 equal to I naught. Similarly I2 equal to I naught and both the sources should be emitting light of same frequency. So same wavelength. Both the sources should be emitting light of same intensity. So intensity of maxima and minima in interference. Interference में maxima और minima की intensity क्या होगी? We know intensity of maxima is given by root I1 plus root I2 का whole square. Putting the value of root I1 as root I naught, root I2 as root I naught. We may have 2 root of I naught within square. Square all squaring I max will be 4 I naught. यह है intensity of maxima 4 times of intensity of a single source. Intensity of minima I naught minus root I1 minus root I2 का whole square and putting the value of I1 I2 I naught root I naught minus root I naught becomes 0. So intensity of minima will be 0. So intensity of minima will be 0 and intensity of maxima will be 4 times of the intensity of a single source. So average intensity in the interference pattern, average intensity in the interference, I average equal to I max plus I minimum divided by 2. I max is 4 I naught plus I minimum yani 0 divided by 2 yani what comes? 2 I naught. So average intensity in one cycle of interference is 2 I naught. 2 I naught. I naught is the intensity of a single source. Let us suppose if there is no interference taking place between the two waves, then intensity on the screen will be same at every point. So intensity on the screen will be simply added, or we can say I equal to I1 plus I2. Both the sources should be contributing their intensity. Your intensity on the screen is going to be double. So I can say I naught plus I naught means 2 I naught. From this equation and this equation, we see if there is interference, then also average intensity after one cycle is 2 I naught. If there is no interference, then the intensity on the screen will be 2 I naught. It means we can say there is no loss of energy in the interference, there is no gain of energy in the interference. Hence, we can say interference pattern obeys the law of energy conservation, or you can say intensity of light remains conserved in the interference. So this is all. Let us discuss few questions regarding interference. Now let us discuss some questions about interference. The first question says that what will be the effect on interference fringes in YDSC in the following cases? In following situations, what will be the effect on interference pattern? The first question is, whole YDSC setup is immersed in water. पूरा का पूरा YDSC setup उठा के हमने पानी में डुबो दिया. Number 2, the monochromatic source is replaced by a polychromatic source. Number 3, screen is moved away from the slits. Number 4, separation between the two slits is increased. Number 5, the source is moved closer to the slits. Number 6, any one of the two slits is closed. Number 7, width of slits is increased. Number 8, width of source slit is increased. Number 9, monochromatic source is replaced by another monochromatic source of shorter wavelength. And number 10, the light of smaller frequency is used. Let us see the question number 1. ये कहते हैं whole YDSC setup is immersed in water. In water, only wavelength changes. When the whole setup is dipped in the water or any other transparent liquid, then neither the slit width increase, nor the slit separation change, nor the distance between the screen and the slit is changed. only the change comes in the wavelength of light, and the new wavelength of light is given by lambda dash equal to lambda upon mu. Here mu is the refractive index of the transparent medium. In our case it is water. So we know fringe width beta is given by lambda d upon d. Fringe width in water, beta dash will be lambda dash d upon d, because d and d are not changing. Or we can say beta dash will be what? Lambda upon mu into d upon d. Or we can say beta upon mu, means the fringe width decreases mu times. Fringe width decreases mu times, or we can say the interference pattern gets blurred. Interference pattern gets blurred as the interference fringes becomes narrow. So interference is not clearly visible. Number 2, monochromatic source is replaced by a polychromatic source. In polychromatic source, multiple wavelengths are there. Or you can say when monochromatic source is replaced by white light, here I can write white light in spite of polychromatic. White light contains 7 colors. So where all the wavelength of each color, all the colors are having different wavelength. So the place where maxima of one is formed, minima of other color is forming. So maxima and minima of different colors overlap. Only we can say the color bands will be appear on the screen instead of dark bright pattern. So interference pattern gets disappeared. So in case due to ये कहते हैं in polychromatic light of white light there are colors of different wavelength. So different wavelength color will have different position of maxima and minima on the screen. So where the maxima of one color is forming, the minima of other color may be forming on the same point. So on the place maxima and minima both are coinciding, that means the interference pattern gets disappeared. Only the colorful rings will be seen on the screen. Number 3, screen is moved away from the slits, means we know beta equals to lambda d upon d. As d is increased, implies that beta will increase. जब d बढ़ेगा तो बीटा भी बढ़ेगा. अगर मैं स्क्रीन को दूर खिसकाऊंगा तो बीटा इंक्रीज करेगा, यानी इंटरफेरेंस पैटर्न बिकम्स वाइड. Interference fringe width will increase, that means the interference pattern becomes very good. When the screen is moved closer to the slits, then in that particular case the fringe width decrease and interference pattern becomes dull. Now question number 4, what comes? The separation between the two slits is increased. हमें पता है बीटा is directly proportional to 1 upon d. अगर d बढ़ाएंगे तो बीटा डिक्रीज करेगा, width decreases. इंटरफेरेंस फ्रिंज की जो विड्थ है वो डिक्रीज कर जाएगी, यानी पैटर्न बिकम्स डल. क्वेश्चन नंबर 5, द सोर्स इज मूव्ड क्लोजर टू द स्क्रीन. याद रखें जो हमारा मेन सोर्स है ये हमारे पास सोर्स इज मूव्ड क्लोजर टू द स्लिट्स. ये हमारे पास है 2 स्लिट्स, S1 S2. दोनों स्लिट्स के बीच का जो सेपरेशन है वो है d. ये सोर्स लैम्डा वेवलेंथ की लाइट निकालता है, इस सोर्स की विड्थ मैंने s मान ली, और यहां से लेके यहां तक का जो डिस्टेंस है वो मैंने कैपिटल S मान लिया. तो हमें पता है S अपॉन कैपिटल S शुड बी लैम्डा अपॉन d. ये एक कंडीशन है जिसको हमें सेटिस्फाई करना है. अगर ये कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई होती है तो interference pattern will be seen. So for the distinct visibility of the interference pattern, S upon S, S is the source width of slit, width of source, I'm sorry, and S is the separation between the source and the slits. Lambda is the wavelength of light and D is the gap between the two slits. If this condition is satisfied, then interference pattern is seen. If I going to decrease S, then this condition will be violated at some point of value of S, and in such a case the separation is so close then this condition is not obeyed, then interference pattern becomes disappear. तो जब तक S के अंदर है, जब तक S की पर्टिकुलर वैल्यू, वो वैल्यू ऑफ S जो इस कंडीशन को सेटिस्फाई कर दो, वहीं तक इंटरफेरेंस पैटर्न विजिबल होगा, उसके बाद ये पैटर्न विजिबल होना बंद हो जाएगा. तो दिस वे द आंसर ऑफ क्वेश्चन नंबर 5 इज सीन. क्वेश्चन नंबर 6, any one of the two slits is closed. हमें पता है इंटरफेरेंस इज द result of superposition of the two waves. If light coming from any one of the slit is not coming, then there is no superposition on the screen. So a bright dot will be seen on the screen. Interference pattern becomes disappear. तो यहां पर हम कहेंगे no interference will take place. तो ऐसे केस में इंटरफेरेंस पैटर्न नहीं होगा, इंटरफेरेंस पैटर्न नहीं बनेगा. क्वेश्चन नंबर 7, if width of the source width of the slits is increased, अगर स्लिट्स की width increase कर दी जाए तो क्या होगा? उस पर्टिकुलर केस में these slits will behave like multiple sources and hence the interference pattern of one is overlapping the interference pattern of other, means at one place where maxima of one source is forming, on the same point minimum of other source is forming, so interference pattern gets disappeared. So if we increase the width of slits, then these slits will behave like multiple sources. So in this case no interference will take place. क्वेश्चन नंबर 8, क्वेश्चन नंबर 8 में कहता है द विड्थ ऑफ द सोर्स इज इंक्रीज्ड. जो सोर्स है उसकी विड्थ इंक्रीज कर दी जाती है. जब हम सोर्स की विड्थ बढ़ाते हैं तो इसकी इंटेंसिटी बढ़ती चली जाती है. S अपॉन कैपिटल S वाज लेस देन लैम्डा अपॉन D. अगर मैं सोर्स स्लिट की विड्थ बढ़ाता हूं तो सोर्स स्लिट की विड्थ बढ़ाने पर भी क्या होगा? एक पर्टिकुलर कंडीशन में ये जो फिगर है ये जब तक वॉयलेट नहीं होती तब तक इंटरफेरेंस होगा. इंटरफेरेंस पैटर्न इज सीन. अगर मैं यहां पर कर दूं S अपॉन S इज ग्रेटर देन लैम्डा D अपॉन D, नो इंटरफेरेंस. यहां पर ये विड्थ ऑफ सोर्स, ये है डिस्टेंस बिटवीन source and slits. Lambda, you know the wavelength of light, and D is the separation between the two slits. तो जब मैं S को बढ़ाऊंगा तो S बढ़ के जब ये कंडीशन यहां कन्वर्ट हो जाएगी, इंटरफेरेंस पैटर्न दिखना बंद हो जाएगा. तो अप टू ए सर्टेन विड्थ ऑफ सोर्स, इंटरफेरेंस पैटर्न विल बी appearing on the screen. When the slit width, source width is increased in such a way that this condition is like this, then interference pattern becomes disappear from the screen. Next we come to question number 9. This is question number 8 or rather. Question number 9. Question number 9 says monochromatic source is replaced by another monochromatic source of shorter wavelength. If wavelength is decreased, again I am coming to the question, lambda D upon D was equal to beta. If lambda is decreased, implies that beta will decrease. Interference pattern will be seen on the screen, but it becomes dull. If the monochromatic source is replaced by another monochromatic source of shorter wavelength, then the width of interference fringe will be decreased, and hence interference pattern becomes dull. Now question number 10. Light of smaller frequency is used. If I use the frequency, if I speak in terms of frequency, then we know frequency is C by lambda equal to C upon lambda, or we can say F is directly proportional to 1 upon lambda. If wavelength is increased, frequency will decrease. Means smaller frequency light must have higher wavelength, and we know for higher wavelength light the interference pattern becomes very good because fringe width increases. So when light of smaller frequency is used, then interference becomes loud and clear. Very good. So these were few possible questions that may be asked on the interference. So this is all about today's class. Thank you, and thank you for watching. Have a good day.